All right, I'm now working on checkpoint 7 of our linear relationships unit in Summit, and this is called similarities and differences in two lines. So it says describe how the graph of y equals 2x is the same and or different from the graph of y equals 2x minus 7. Explain and show your reasoning. So if I look into this, if I really look at my graph, I'm going to analyze two different things. I'm going to analyze their slope and their y-intercepts because x and y are still their input and output. If I look at it, they both have the same slope. So I'm going to put that first. Their slopes are the same. And we know that their slope is 2. But their y-intercepts are different. Okay? So different y-intercepts, so different b's. Because remember that b in our equation is y-intercept. 1 is going to be at 0 because there's no b there. And 1 is negative 7. So this tells us that this line would cross at negative 7 versus this line would go through the center axis point. But because their slopes are the same, they would be parallel lines. So now I'm going to scroll down to the next part, which says write the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one that says m is our slope and it passes through the point 2, 16. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. In order to define this, I have to plug in my slope and then plug in my points. So I'm going to plug in y equals 2x plus b. Now I'm going to plug in my 2 points, which is 2 and 16. Remember, x always comes first. And I'm going to solve for b. So now I have 16 equals 2 times 2 plus b. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, so 16 equals 4 plus b. Center of my equation is the equal sign. To get b by itself, I need to subtract by 4. 16 minus 4 is 12, so we know that our y-intercept or our b is 12, which makes my final equation y equals 2x plus 12. All right, moving on to my next problem. I don't have a slope for this problem. So I have to use my formula to find the slope, which is m equals the change in y over the change in x, which means rise over run. And the other way we can write that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I've got to do that first. So I'm going to label my points here, x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'm going to calculate it. So I'm going to do negative 12 minus 0 all over 3 minus negative 3. Remember that negative 12 minus 0 is going to keep my negative here, so that's negative 12. 3 minus 3, well, I'm going to use keep, change, change. And now I have 3 plus 3, which is 6. Okay, negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. That makes my slope negative 2. So when I plug that in, I have y equals negative 2x plus b. So now I need to plug in my points. I can pick either point to calculate what my y-intercept is. I'm going to do this first point here, which is negative 3 and 0. So I'm going to do 0 equals negative 2 times negative 3 plus b. Okay? So then I'm going to do 0 equals negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6 plus b. Center of my equation is the equal sign. To get b by itself, I have to subtract 6 from both sides. 0 minus 6 is negative 6, so b is equal to negative 6. So that means that my equation is y equals negative 2x minus 6. Moving on to my equation, my next one, again, I don't have my slope. So I've got to do my change in y over change in x formula again. So I'm going to just do, this one is x1, this one is x2, this one is y1, this one is y2, and I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to do 4 minus 1 all over 1 minus 0. 4 minus 1 is 3. 1 minus 0 is 1, so that means my slope is 3. So now that I know what my slope is, I have to plug it in to find my y-intercept. So I'm going to do y equals 3x plus b, and now I'm going to plug in. I don't actually have to do any math here though. Remember that I told you that whenever x is 0, that's the same thing as saying the y-axis. And our y-intercept is the point where we cross the y-axis. So x is 0 here. So it tells me that at x is 0, y is 1, which tells me that my y-intercept is 1. So I can just plug that right into my equation and do y equals 3x plus 1. So there's my equation. So now I have one more to do, and I have the slope for this one. Sorry guys, I know it just flashed my battery sign. There's something wrong with my computer that it doesn't want to charge. So I have my slope for my equation, so I'm going to plug it in. So I'm going to do y equals 1/5 x plus b. Now I'm going to plug in my point here, which is negative 20 and 45, negative 45. Remember that x is first, then y. So I'm going to do negative 45 equals 1/5 times negative 20 plus b. To multiply 1/5 times negative 20, I have to put negative 20 over 1. 5 can cross-reduce into 20 because it goes in 4 times. And then 1 times 4 is negative 4. So then I have negative 45 equals negative 4 plus b. Center of my equation is the equal sign. To get rid of the negative 4, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Negative 45 plus 4 is negative 41. So that gives me the equation y equals 1/5 x minus 41. All right, now that you've gotten all these done, go ahead and submit feedback and have a great day.